Hey you, welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
I'm wife.
And together we're reading the Bible.
Starting with Genesis and eventually ending with Revelations, we're working through every book and offering our atheist 2 cents.
Or shekels.
Yeah, those. We're asking questions and pointing out all the nonsense.
We aren't academics or scholars.
Nope. In fact, when it comes to religion, we really don't know anything at all.
What we've learned so far is that God's a dick.
Oh, he really is, isn't he? If you're interested in how we reached this startling conclusion, maybe start from episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in anywhere. It's all good.
Yep.
Hey wife, we just got a new sponsor. It's Anchor. They must think we're doing something right because they picked us back up.
That's amazing. Want to hear something even more amazing?
Yeah?
I actually know what they are.
You are full of shit. I'm calling your bluff. Tell me about Anchor.
Okay, so Anchor by Spotify is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place.
I'm actually surprised you knew that, but did you also know that Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer?
Yes, because I see you do that on your phone all the time and it looks pretty simple.
It really is, and when hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
But I use CastBox.
Yeah, darling, I know you like CastBox. It gets distributed there too, and lots of other platforms as well.
And how much are we paying for this awesome service?
Absolutely nothing.
Coolio! So then we should tell people to download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started?
Yep, do it now.
Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember what happened last time in the Bible that we read?
I am not doing sing-song.
I don't know why I was doing sing-song.
But as I recall, we were talking about Og and idolatry.
Yeah, that pretty much, yeah.
Does that sum it up?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, honestly. Yeah, Moses is like, bitches, you guys are going to go on without me because you suck. And even though I begged God to let me go, he was like, none of that. And so I don't get to go. And so, even though I don't get to go, I'm happy for you. So let me reiterate the rules.
Don't worship other shit.
Don't worship other shit. And also, remember that time when we killed a giant?
Yeah, Og.
Yeah. And then that was it.
I think they were assholes for that. I like Og.
I like Og too. Could you imagine if they hadn't killed giants?
Right? And we still have giants.
There would be giants.
It'd be awesome.
I want giants.
Apparently they were kind of friendly-ish.
But they were lazy and crybabies.
They were lazy, yeah. So there's that.
But I mean, better a crybaby, lazy giant that's laying around doing nothing than an angry, kid-eating giant.
True. Definitely better than that.
Right. I want giants.
So, anyway. What are we reading today?
We are reading Deuteronomy chapter 5.
All right, let's jump into this.
Shall we? Okay, let's get some Deuteronomy.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke and it didn't work. My brain stopped.
Yeah, because you had nothing.
I was thinking like doo-doo or but nope. Yeah, it's all dumb.
It's all dumb.
It was all dumb. I don't even know why I said what I was thinking because it's still dumb.
It's almost like, editor, cut this.
We're early enough we could have just redone it, but we're not going to because why not? Let's just go.
Because this is why the people love us.
Right, yeah.
Our authenticity.
Very little editing. Every once in a while we have to, but very little.
Well, we are reading today Deuteronomy chapter 5, and this chapter is about, the 10 Commandments.
Oh, so here we go.
Go.
Idolatry was a big one. They had to cover that one big time, but now we're going to get them. And then this, and this.
Yeah. Don't rape people. Don't kill, murder, and steal. Don't be a dick.
Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Moses called all the people of Israel together and said, "Listen carefully, Israel. Listen. Hear the decrees and regulations I am giving you today, so you may learn them and obey them."
They should already know them.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
Relearn them and obey them? Is that what he meant to say?
Technically, they grew up with this shit, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they haven't heard this before, I'm sure.
I mean, this is like he's standing on a mountain going, recap!
Right. Unless he was a really piss poor, priesty type person.
Ooh, I've known a few of those in my day. The Lord our God made a covenant.
Covenant?
Covenant.
Jeez.
Somebody's hand was on my thigh.
Not mine.
Not mine. Okay, the Lord our God made a covenant with us at Mount Sinai. The Lord did not make this covenant with our ancestors, but with all of us who are alive today. I mean,
but
no, he didn't.
What? They thought
false.
Right.
False.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I guess toward that way of thinking, the Lord made that covenant with all of us alive today, here, now, today, too, right?
Yeah, I guess.
A forever promise kind of thing?
I mean...
Like the rainbow?
I didn't know about this until I read this fucking book.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be information that I should have been, born with.
Yeah.
If it's going to apply.
Yeah, I agree.
But I wasn't, so...
on your 18th birthday, you are allowed to buy cigarettes, you're allowed to vote, you're allowed to join the military, and also, by the by, God made this deal with you.
Right, yeah.
FYI.
Yeah.
Okay. At the mountain, the Lord spoke to you face to face from the heart of the fire. It's not really face to face.
Yeah, no.
Fire to face. I mean, something like that.
Even Moses couldn't look at him directly because, he showed his backside to Moses as he passed by or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were joking
fire,
God showed Moses' ass.
Fire to back face.
Right, yeah, whatever.
That's what he meant.
Okay.
I stood as an intermediary between you and the Lord, so then not face to face.
Right.
For you were afraid of the fire and did not want to approach the mountain. That's not
how that went.
That's not how that went.
God said Moses needed to come up in that, and it was the only dude allowed up.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
He's rewriting history here.
Right?
Or he's telling history. He's like, remember all that shit that I said way back in the first chapter? I was lying. And now I'm telling the truth.
That tracks a little bit better because Moses.
Remember how I'm a grifty fuck?
Right.
Yeah. He spoke to me, the God that is.
Yeah.
And I passed his words on to you. Therefore, not face to face in any fucking way whatsoever. I'm sorry, that phrasing really, really struck me. That's a lie.
Yeah, it would be a lot different if they had got the news firsthand, but no. They're getting it from Fox,
Oh, shit. Or worse.
Right, yeah.
This is what he said. I am the Lord your God, who rescued you from the land of Egypt, the place of your slavery. You must not have any other God but me. You must not make for yourself an idol of any kind, or an image of anything in the heavens, or on the earth, or in the sea. Except that they did, but...
Right, many times.
Yeah. You must not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God.
We knew that.
Who will not tolerate your affection for any other gods, which, by the by, do exist.
In the Bible.
As has been established.
And he has proved that he will not tolerate that, too.
He does not tolerate you
for sure.
believing in any of the other gods that in this canon do exist.
Right, yeah.
I lay the sins of the parents upon their children, which, remember, we had a Q&A about vertical retribution?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
That was so interesting.
Right.
The entire family is affected, even children in the third and fourth generations of those who reject me.
What about fifth? And fifth generation's okay? They're clean?
But the sixth is right out. But I lavish unfailing love for 1,000 generations on those who love me and obey my commands. That is a lie.
Except for the fact that you are holding them responsible for their parents' sins.
Right.
So,
well, no, as long as you obey me and love me, I will pass your sins on.
Oh, but if you piss me off, I'm going to bring all that retribution from your parents onward
onto you. And your children. Okay. And your children's children.
Right. Unless they love him.
If you love and obey me.
What kind of time frame do you think they got in order to prove that? Is it like a year, 2 years?
As long as you keep being okay, he's going to keep pushing it down the line.
Okay.
Kicking the can down the road.
I'm just saying,
he doesn't call in, what's it called? Call in the chips.
Right.
Call in the debt.
Yeah.
Unless you're a dipshit. You must not misuse the name of the Lord your God. The Lord will not let you go unpunished if you misuse his name.
God damn it.
Oh, that's ugly.
That sucks.
What's another one? Jesus fucking Christ. That's my favorite
Right,
one.
yeah.
I say that all the time. I'm a terrible human being.
There's got to be something you could do with Yahweh. Like, I don't know. I'll have to think on that one.
But that's like saying Robert Smith.
Yeah.
Like, that's not as good. But
I don't know.
Jesus fucking
I'm gonna
Christ
come up with a
my
Yahweh
name.
curse because that just sounds. There's got to be something there.
Yahweh curse.
Yeah.
What about Elohim curse?
Elohim.
He was mentioned first. He was.
I don't know.
Before Yahweh.
I'm gonna have to think about this. We're gonna have to come up with an Elohim and a Yahweh curse.
I mean, God damn it, just works because it's like single syllable.
It does.
Like Elohim, damn it, doesn't have the same.
No.
So,
that's not where I was going with it, but I'll think of something maybe.
Fuck
Not
you.
today.
Fuck you and the Elohim you wrote in on. Observe the Sabbath day by keeping it holy as the Lord your God has commanded you. Okay?
Yeah, don't pick up sticks that day.
Yeah, don't do it. You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work. God, could you imagine? 6 days a week you gotta work.
Yeah.
Wait, you do that. Never mind.
Right.
But the seventh day is a Sabbath day of rest dedicated to the Lord your God. On that day, no one in your household may do any work. You can do loopholes and find ways to get the work done.
Right, as long as you don't push the buttons.
Yeah. You can have somebody, you can totally follow the letter of the law and not the spirit of it.
Right.
Which I just find heinous, but whatever.
Well, I mean, that's what they've decided.
No, I know.
Humans have
decided that they can create loopholes.
Right.
To get around.
I'm sure that there are also purists out there that are like, no, nothing,
but
no
that's
loopholes.
But that's not the ones that you hear about. The ones that you hear about are the ones that like create fucking pulleys.
Well, because it's fun to hear about the people that are cheating the system, you know? Like, that's fun. Like, how do they get around this? How do they do nothing on those days? You can't
even turn on the heat that day?
Right.
Well, they have scheduled heaters that they schedule the heater ahead of time. Like, that is literally not what God meant.
Right.
He didn't say, whatever. We already covered that. It's just still annoying.
Well, like, I bet that the invention of, like, smart devices is, like, the best thing ever for people who are Jewish. Because, like, they can just schedule things to happen. And they're like, awesome.
Which, look, I mean no disrespect toward any minority or group that has been harassed and killed over the years.
Sure.
Okay?
No, definitely.
I really don't. And I think it is horrible.
But it doesn't take away from the ridiculousness of their actions that they're doing at the behest of a non-existent fucking God.
Yeah. And again, if you're gonna live by the book, live by the spirit, not just the letter of the law.
Right.
You know, the letter of the law is the least important part of it. It's the spirit of the law.
Right. Make us believe that you believe.
Exactly. Because, yeah. Okay. Whatever. You get me. This includes you, your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, or as we know them to mean, slaves.
Right.
Your oxen and donkeys and other livestock, and any foreigners living among you.
Wait, the fucking oxen and donkeys have to follow fucking God's word?
They need to take off the fucking Sabbath, yes.
What?
You look so confused.
Well, I mean, how does a donkey know not to fucking work?
Okay, what they're saying is don't hook up your donkey and make him go plow shit while you sit inside resting. Your donkey gets the day off too. So it literally
says in the Bible you shouldn't work around it then.
Well, at least with your donkey and other livestock.
Right. Got it.
God didn't know about, they didn't know about smartphones.
Got it.
All your male and female servants must rest as you do.
Okay.
Remember that you were once slaves in Egypt, but the Lord your God brought you out with his strong hand and powerful arm. How strong was his hand and how powerful was his arm? And was it more strong and more powerful than a giant?
I don't know, but he killed a lot of Egyptian babies.
He did kill a lot of Egyptian babies.
So,
I don't know. I have, I want to say sorry to Egypt about that. Like, I wasn't even there. Like, it has nothing to do with me.
Nobody was there.
I know, obviously.
God didn't do this.
But I'm like, oh, sorry, Egypt. I'm sorry that happened to you.
But how do you apologize to a fucking place?
Okay, I'm using the word apology incorrectly.
Okay.
I'm feeling a great amount of sorrow and like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Like, Egypt, you lost all those babies because, you know, God was mean and like the angel marked certain babies but not yours, or vice versa, whatever.
Right.
However that went.
Yeah.
That is why the Lord your God has commanded you to rest on the Sabbath day. That's why.
Okay.
That's why.
Got it.
Honor your father and mother as the Lord your God commanded you. Then you will live a long, full life in the land the Lord your God is giving you.
But their mothers and fathers didn't always follow God's word.
Right.
So what's the ruling if you don't honor your mother and father, but they also are not honoring God?
Right. Like, do you honor your mother and father until it interferes with your honoring of God?
Right.
And then do you honor God but dishonor your parents, but do so in a way that was because you were honoring God?
I'm going to need a flow chart here.
I need a flow chart. You must not murder. Duh.
Right. Unless God commands you to.
Right. And God can murder willy-nilly.
Right.
Murder is fun. We love murdering entire cities, and we love pillaging them and taking all their shit.
Killing
Murder's
women
fine.
and children even.
Murder's fine.
It's all good.
But only sometimes.
Right.
But not each other.
And earlier on, it was okay to not murder everybody, but take slaves.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Totally. You must not commit adultery. Y'all don't be fucking around.
Right.
I mean, whatever.
Sure.
I think consenting adults can do as they wish and let the chips lie where they fall where they lie where they fall.
To put some of these things on the same level with murder, like, I don't know, and like idolatry, like, I mean, I'm just like, okay, you're laying some things out that honoring your mother and father with murder.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the level at which, like, these are all on the same playing field, right?
Right. Like,
I'm
they're all equally punishable in the eyes of the Lord.
And
that is
like,
ridiculous.
Well, I don't know about that.
I'm gonna put pedophilia is way worse than any of these, including murder.
Definitely.
You know? And then I'm gonna put like torturing a cat.
Right.
You know, way worse. And that's not even on the list.
Right.
You
Definitely.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of things that are not on the list that are probably way worse than things that they do list.
Exactly.
But, you know, they got the best laws.
But don't steal. You must not steal.
I mean, if I was going to feed my family, it was between that and starving to death.
I'd steal.
I'd steal
for you, babe.
Hey, thanks.
Would you steal for me?
I definitely would.
Would you steal for your cat?
Yeah.
I mean, if we can't even feed our cat, that's sad.
A cat needs food.
I would totally steal for my cat.
Definitely.
And I'd definitely steal for my kids.
Yeah.
So, fuck you.
I always thought that, I mean, like, it always made sense to me. If I'm that hard up, like, either you can steal it and get away with it, or you go to jail and they feed you there.
Right.
I'm like whatever.
Either way is a win-win.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you're single, like, if you get caught and sent to jail, your kid still doesn't get to eat. And then they get sent to foster care where they do get to eat, but they might also get raped.
Right.
Because foster care is lousy.
Sure.
So
I'm not suggesting that, you know, you live that way. I'm just suggesting that
if you're single and you're starving and there aren't children involved, then go ahead and steal.
Right. Totally.
Because either way.
What's it gonna,
Yeah.
It's the lesser of two evils, right?
I endorse that plan.
Yeah.
Starve to death or steal.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal.
I mean, you might hurt that store's profit line by a point
You had me at profit line.
0.0001%.
You had me at profit line.
Right, yeah.
I cannot feel an emotional sorrow for a paperwork principle.
Right.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
I can't. You must not testify falsely against your neighbor. Yeah, don't be a lie face or falsely accuse somebody of doing shit they ain't done.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You must not covet your neighbor's wife. I'm going to say don't covet their fucking husband either. Don't covet.
Yeah, it should go both ways. And then doesn't that kind of fall under adultery at some level?
Yes and no. Let me read the next sentence, and then I'll reiterate what all this meant.
Okay.
You must not covet your neighbor's house or land, male or female servant, ox or donkey, or anything else that belongs to your neighbor.
Okay.
It has more to do with the grass is greener syndrome, and the like wanting something that you can't have or being jealous.
I gotcha.
So it's
a state of mind, not a thing that you're doing necessarily.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Got it.
The people's fear. Next section.
Okay.
The Lord spoke these words to all of you assembled there at the foot of the mountain.
But he didn't.
Right. He spoke with a loud voice from the heart of the fire, surrounded by clouds and deep darkness. This was all he said at that time, and he wrote his words on 2 stone tablets and gave them to me.
4.
I dropped the first 2, so we don't talk about those.
Right. And meanwhile, they were worshiping a golden calf down at the bottom of the mountain. So I just want to make sure we remembered that.
Yeah, so he got down there and he was like, God damn it. And he dropped them.
A golden calf that Aaron made.
Yeah. Out of their smelted gold.
Right, yeah.
But when you heard the voice from the heart of the darkness, while the mountain was blazing with fire, all your tribal leaders and elders came to me. They said, Look, the Lord our God has shown us his glory and greatness, and we have heard his voice from the heart of the fire. Today we have seen that God can speak to us humans, and yet we live. But now shall we risk death again? If the Lord our God speaks to us again, we will certainly die and be consumed by this awesome fire. I don't recall.
I do recall that he called the priests up to for something.
Right.
And that might have been true that he did have God talk to them at that point or something.
But I don't remember them saying, whoa, he talked to us and we survived, but that can't happen again.
Right.
I don't recall that.
But also it has been said that he can't talk to them directly
but
sometimes.
I don't recall them ever saying, we lived through this once, surely we can't do it again.
Right.
I don't recall that.
I don't recall that either.
But, I mean, Grifty.
But then there's all those side stories that,
It's true. Maybe it wasn't an edited version.
Yeah, right.
This was on the cutting floor.
Yeah.
Can any living thing hear the voice of the living God from the heart of the fire as we did and yet survive?
Moses?
Yes, because you just did.
Right.
You dumb fucks. Go yourself and listen to what the Lord our God says. Then come and tell us everything he tells you, and we will listen and obey. So they're telling Moses, we heard him once, but we're scared that if we hear him again, we'll die or some shit. So you go listen.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I think Moses was like, yo, I'm going to be in charge, and you're going to tell everybody that I'm the only one that can talk to God.
Yeah.
And that's how this is going to go, guys.
Yeah, because Grifty going to grift.
Yeah.
The Lord heard the request you made to me, and he said, I have heard what the people said to you, and they are right. Yeah, I bet that's what he said. Oh, that they would always have hearts like this, that they might fear me and obey all my commands. Because that's the relationship you want with your parents. Yeah, one based on fear.
Fear is always a great thing to have.
Fear, which is not the same thing as respect, love, and adoration.
Right.
Fear.
I'd much rather have somebody, following my will that is wanting to do that because they respect me as opposed to fear me.
Well, I mean, I can remember way back as a kid, like I was always getting in trouble because my mom would tell me to do something and I would be like, but why though? Because it didn't make sense.
Right.
And then I would get in trouble for talking back and she just wanted me to obey her, period, the end. And my argument was always, and I couldn't phrase it at the time, but my argument as an adult is more now, I wasn't talking back and I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I truly wanted to understand because to me, blind obedience is dumb.
Right.
And don't you want me to be enthusiastically on board with your game plan? And if I understood it better, I could implement it to the best of my abilities.
Right.
But instead, you're just telling me to do something that on the surface sounds really fucking stupid. And, it might very well have been fucking stupid.
Right.
And that's why you were so defensive and right. quick to say, just do what I said.
Right.
Like, maybe you just didn't feel like thinking. And I know that there are some parents out there that are like, but you should just always obey your parents. And to them I say, fuck off.
Yeah.
Because
we don't ask our kid to obey us unconditionally. We explain why we ask things and why we're doing things, and we look for a mutual respect type scenario.
Right.
And it works out well.
I mean, here's the thing. If I tell my kid, I want you to take those dishes into the kitchen, like, my kid is a teenager, so at this point, they understand why I want them in the kitchen.
But if they wanted to have a conversation, we could definitely do that.
And sometimes they're like, I'm not going to do that right now. And I'm like, but you are, though. And then they're like, okay, but I'm in the middle of a thing. Can I finish this first? And then I'm like, well, yeah, that makes sense. This isn't a fucking race.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying obey me and get them there now. I'm saying, yeah, whenever you finish your whatever, go get up and do it. And then, of course...
Thank you for communicating that you were doing something.
Right. And then, of course, about an hour later, I notice they still haven't done it. And I go in and I say, look, I asked you to do this earlier and you said you would. And then they feel really chagrined, embarrassed, and apologetic because they know that they told me they were going to and they didn't.
Right.
And that is pretty much 100% how this works. And...
Sure.
I rather that than me say, do it now, and then be all mopey and shitty and obedient out of fear.
Right.
Like, we have a fun relationship.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I'm a better parent than God, the end. That's what all that was leading up to. If they did, they and their descendants would prosper forever. You know, if they still love me forever and obeyed me out of fear. Right. Go and tell them, return to your tents. But you... Moses, stand here with me so I can give you all my commands, decrees, and regulations. You must teach them to the people so they can obey them in the land I am giving them as their possession. Mm-hmm. So Moses told the people, you must be careful to obey all the commands of the Lord your God, following his instructions in every detail. Stay on the path that the Lord your God has commanded you to follow. Then you will live long and prosperous lives in the land you are about to enter and occupy. Unless he gets in a snit and decides to harden your heart or some other fucking bullshit, in which case you did.
Yeah. I mean, that's... Yeah. I mean, I don't really have anything else to add because he's a dickhead who fucking kills people when he wants to and tells them to do things that he doesn't actually want them to do and then changes his fucking mind. And he's such a shitty...
He's such a shitty parent. He's such a shitty leader. He's such a shitty God.
Right.
Look, there may have been some other gods back then that were really good. It's a pity and a shame that we didn't get to hear about those.
Right.
Because this one, he's very poor leadership skills.
Totally agree.
He needed to read the 5-Minute Manager or some shit. Just kidding. I hate all of those fucking management books, but that's a different episode.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is the end of this episode.
Okay. So we're done with 5 chapters now, and we will see everybody
tomorrow.
That's right. All right. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Hey, wife.
Yes, husband.
Did you know that we are now on Patreon?
Yes, because you told me, but also, no, tell me more.
So we're on Patreon now.
Are we?
We are. And our supporters can go there and support us. And we have multiple levels all the way up to You Killed God.
That sounds really drastic and escalated quickly-ish.
Well, no, there's multiple levels before there. So it escalates on a sliding scale of, cheap to not cheap. Oh. But, we can definitely use any amount. So, any support is always appreciated.
So what exactly is Patreon?
It's a place where you can show your support for our podcast. And
just our podcast?
Any podcast or any performer. But, we're the ones that, you're listening to right now. So maybe you should, support us. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. But we love you anyway.
So all you got to do is go to Patreon, look up Sacrilegious Discourse. It's actually patreon.com/Sacrilegious Discourse is our actual main page there. So head on over and send us some love.
Yeah. Husband, it's the end.
It is indeed, wife.
Tell the people where they can contact us.
Well, they can get a hold of us via our email, which is sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. We have Twitter at sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh, why do you know? Why do you keep doing that? Ugh. All right, we have a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and a Pinterest page. But if you really want to get our attention, Twitter's where it's at.
Twitter is where you're at.
Yeah.
And they should also review, like, and subscribe, yeah?
Definitely. Apple Podcasts reviews help us out tremendously. And we also can use your support on Patreon, which is a great place to support us as well. That would be at patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse.
Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.